Good evening, everyone. This is meteorologist Shane Hinton hopping onto our social platforms in order to give you a look at your forecast update in regards to the storms that we're expecting for this evening. The time is currently at 9:02 on your Monday evening. Going to get started shortly. I'm going to be trying to follow along on the Facebook comments. I know this is streaming across several platforms, but I'll try and follow along with the Facebook comments in regards to any questions that we might have. Good evening, Cindy, Lauricia, Roxy. Good evening to all of you. Also, let me know in the Facebook comments specifically if you can't hear me. I want to make sure my microphone's working. So right now you're taking a live look out over Lake Travis, where we're getting quite a bit of a light show out there, quite a bit of lightning that we're seeing on the Doppler radar as well, but I thought I'd show you a real-time image of it as we are tracking a few isolated storms across the KVUE viewing area as we speak. Have some pretty big updates for you this evening. The Storm Prediction Center actually released an update to their severe weather outlook for today, and it has some good news for all of us in the area. As we take a look at the Doppler radar, you will see we are dealing with a few scattered showers in the coastal plains, but the main weather concern is actually located just west of I-35. Once again, we were giving you a live look out over Lake Travis. As I take a closer look in this area, you'll see all the little lightning icons. That's how much lightning we're tracking with this particular storm. Spicewood, just east of Marble Falls, just west of Leander. We're getting quite a light show. Please don't be caught off guard if you hear a few rumbles of thunder. Those of you in the vicinity should be heading indoors. If you can see the lightning or if you can hear the thunder, you should be inside right now, okay? Because it can extend far outside of the cell. Let's actually kind of work together to cut open this cell because I'm curious to see just how unstable it is. Yeah, so we're seeing cloud tops about up to 40,000 feet of convection. So that is a very unstable system. That's why we are seeing all that lightning associated with it, or at least one of the factors that we're factoring into it. I want to give you a look at the severe weather outlook for today. Major changes that we're seeing with this compared to just about an hour or so ago, okay? If you recall, in our early evening broadcast and during our morning and midday broadcast, we were showing that level 2 slight risk for a majority of the KVUE viewing area. It has been lowered significantly as we head into the late evening and overnight hours. You'll notice now that a majority of the area is now been reduced to a level 1 out of 5 or marginal risk for severe storms. This is significantly lower than what we were tracking. Does this mean that the isolated storm threat for today is over? No, it just means that it's less likely for us to see scattered to widespread showers and storms like we would see maybe with a level 2. So areas along and east predominantly of I-35 are who are included in this level 1 risk. You'll notice that kind of bubble over the hill country that has not been included. So it is worth noting, especially due to the fact that they need the rain the most. But naturally, we don't want to see a severe weather threat with any of these areas. As we take a look at the looped satellite radar, you can see those showers and storms starting to develop just west of I-35, and then also out there in Fayette County, we're dealing with a few rumbles of thunder. But other than that, it's a fairly quiet evening for us so far. That is not the case for portions of South Texas. In fact, you can see several active severe thunderstorm warnings for them. I think they have the highest severe weather threat for the current time being. I know we were monitoring some tornado warnings up near the Laredo area a little bit earlier this evening, but the closest to us right now is to the south. So I think that's worth noting in regards to where the severe weather is occurring. In fact, if we zoom in a little further, just look at all that lightning, goodness gracious, that's happening within those storms down there. Quite the light show that we're having there towards the south portions of Texas. Now, as we take a look at the radar and satellite and the surface map, you'll see we kind of had that stalled frontal boundary. It was a warm front. It had lifted a little bit further to the north. Now it looks like it's stalled a bit. I don't think the severe weather threat that was initially expected with it is actually going to populate. On the high resolution forecast models, we are still seeing the possibility of some isolated strong storms. So once again, that does not mean that everyone is necessarily out of the woods. It just means you can probably breathe a little bit easier tonight going to bed. You should still have a way to be kept weather aware and to get weather updates in case you do happen to be in the vicinity of one of those stronger storms that might develop. This particular model run wants to put maybe a strong cell near the Burnett region and then just to the north of the KVUE viewing area around 3 in the morning. As we approach the 6 to 7 o'clock hours, we could have some additional isolated to lightly scattered showers and storms develop along and east of the I-35 corridor. By around 9:30, as you're making your way into work, you'll notice that we have some storms still lingering before eventually clearing out for Tuesday afternoon. Now, as we head into Tuesday afternoon, we are expecting a little bit of partial clearing. If we get a lot more heat, that's going to just add fuel to any potential storms that we could see develop on Tuesday evening. So that leads me into our next discussion. So the update is good in regards to the severe weather potential for tonight. However, we do still have a significant severe weather potential for tomorrow. The entire KVUE viewing area still under that level 2 out of 5 risk. This is a little bit higher than what we were tracking for tonight. If you recall, there were small slivers of the marginal risk. There's a little bit higher confidence in regards to a level 2 area wide. And let me show you why. On the high resolution forecast model runs, this is tomorrow evening around 11:30. We have a large line of storms that we refer to as a squall line. This is a strong line of thunderstorms that's going to start migrating through the area from the northwest all the way down through the coastal plains. Notice it grows very widespread overnight into Wednesday morning. And then it doesn't really clear up until the back half of Wednesday. So I'm seeing we might have some residual showers late Wednesday morning, but the bulk of it occurs in the early morning hours on Wednesday before clearing out fully on Wednesday afternoon. We'll have a cold front that's moving through the area. The drier air behind it will start to filter in and hopefully calm us down. Let's take a quick look at your 7-day forecast, show you what you're working with. We are going to see temperatures tomorrow in the mid-80s. Will be very heavily dependent on whether or not we get that partial clearing a lot earlier than expected. As we make our way into Wednesday, with all that storm coverage and then that drier air filtering in, I do foresee us maybe staying in the mid to upper 70s. Now, it's worth noting that we've been duped by the forecast models before, especially, even yesterday and today. We saw a seasonable day today, for example. I could see us maybe a few isolated areas reaching into the lower 80s, but right now I'm keeping it in the mid to upper 70s for us in Austin. High pressure builds in for the end of the work week into the weekend. That will bring back the sunshine and unfortunately the heat. We're talking temperatures back into the mid 90s by Friday and Saturday. So let's take a look at some of these Facebook comments, make sure I'm answering any questions. Sandra, she wants to see or hear rain. I definitely know what you mean. I think our chances for rain are going to be significantly higher tomorrow, just based off the fact that a lot of the forecast models are in agreement for tomorrow. Usually there are at least some pretty significant differences in between the models at this point. So the fact that they're agreeing on this line of storms makes me a little bit more cautious about the weather threat for tomorrow. It makes me a little bit more on edge, just due to the fact that they are already agreeing so well. Now, naturally, there's still plenty of time for this to change. This forecast model that I was showing you that refreshes every 15 minutes, that particular one I was showing you isn't able to be utilized until we're closer into the window of the event, and right now it's outside of it. So it's not really able to be used for the Tuesday night storm scenario. So we'll have to wait till our morning broadcast and our midday broadcast before you're able to see that one thrown into the mix. So Lee said there's a storm in the Lago Vista area. Yes, I believe that was the one that we were picking up all the way from our Oasis camera out at Lake Travis. Let's pull that back up. You can see the lightning off in the distance. This rolled through the horizon out there over Lake Travis, and it continues to move to the north. So on that specific storm you're talking about, Lisa, this is the one. Let me pull it up for you. Once again, we just cut this open a little bit earlier on in the stream, and we were seeing cloud high or convection heights up to about 40,000 feet, which is pretty high when you think about it. So that's why we're seeing all this instability. There's a lot going on up there. So that's why we're seeing a lot of lightning, and thus you're probably hearing a lot of thunder if you're between Smithwick, Bertram, Liberty Hill, just west of Leander. You're seeing a light show, and you're certainly hearing a loud percussion of thunder. As you make our way to Lago Vista, this is the storm specifically you're talking about. Not as much lightning associated with it, but if you are seeing a lot of lightning, you're most likely seeing it to the north of you. So this is continuing. Let's kind of throw the loop in there. This is continuing to move north-northeast pretty quickly. If you're in the I-35 corridor, if you're around Round Rock, Leander, and Georgetown, just don't be caught off guard if you hear a few rumbles of thunder or even get some rain yourself. Not guaranteeing it, but you could see some in the next, I'd say, 45 minutes to an hour or so. Tracy, do I think tornadoes are a high possibility for tomorrow? With the slight risk, the level 2 risk that they have us under for tomorrow, there is the potential for an isolated tornado threat. Now, it's not going to be as high as that threat that we were tracking early March whenever we had that level 4 out of 5 that we very rarely see in central Texas, but it's not a non-existent threat for tornadoes, okay? So an isolated tornado is definitely fair game and in the mix, in the conversation for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Sandra, wind picking up there in Cedar Creek. Let's see if we can, let's pull up those winds real quickly for you. Now, granted, this wind map won't have everything, so in specific storms, it's not able to measure it. Yeah, it's not picking up the specific ones that you're talking about, Sandra, because you can see the winds are on the calmer side overall, but within those storms, some of those isolated strong storms, there could still be wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour, 60 to 70 miles per hour, definitely in the realm of possibility for you. Liz saying, no rain in Leander yet, but a lot of lightning. Yes, so I was just seeing Leander staying in the dry side, but I also see Leander about to get hit with some rain. So it is coming your way, Liz, okay? Lou Jean, coming your way there in Leander as well. Okay, you guys, I want to be mindful of everyone's evening. Just to let you know, we will hop on air if anything severe were to occur, mostly if there were to be a tornado threat. If there were to be a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect, most likely we'll hop onto here on a Facebook Live. I'm continuing to provide updates both on my Meteorologist Facebook page, which is just Shane Hinton on Facebook, or also on my Twitter, which is @MakeItRainShane. I'll be providing some updates on Instagram that is also @MakeItRainShane. I'm not seeing any additional questions here, so I'll let you get back to your evening. Please continue to stay safe, stay smart, most importantly, stay kind, and we'll talk to you all again very soon, and see you also during our 10 o'clock broadcast with the latest look at your forecast model runs. Have a great and safe evening, everyone.